Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And please, wake up. I'm feeling like a teacher now. I just hope that you enjoyed your lunch and met new friends and sustainable connections just like I did. One of the participants came to me and then asked me, "What is the topic of our afternoon session? Is it interesting? Because if not, she's gonna leave before." And then I told her, "I'm not gonna tell you because it's very interesting. And if you want to know, you have to stay." And now we will be moving on to the Fireside Chat series, which will take a deeper look into some of the interlinked ESG issues. And we will also explore the interlinking of the climate change and the biodiversity emergencies that loom large over our world and how the private sector can create the solutions framework. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce you our panelists for the next session. We have the Executive Vice President of Corporate Engineering of Charan Pokapan Foods Public Company Limited คุณพีรพงศ์กรินชัยขอเสียงปรบมือต้อนรับคุณพีรพงศ์ครับ Please welcome คุณพีรพงศ์ on stage. And next we have the chair of ESBN Task Force on Green Economy, the founder and the president of World Green Organization, and also the chairman of Hong Kong Myanmar Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Albert Ong. Please welcome Mr. Albert on stage. And now I would like to hand it over to the moderator of this session. We have the CEO of WWF Thailand, Ms. Natalie Pahonyotin. ขอเสียงปรบมือต้อนรับคุณนาตาลีพหลโยธินครับ And a big round of applause for everyone once again.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, here in the room and virtually. Well, in Bangkok, it's after lunch, so I hope you're re-energized with all the calories you need. I am so distinguished today to be moderating a session with my two colleagues, Mr. Albert Ong and Mr. Pirapong from CPF. We don't have a lot of time, so just allow me to delve into the session. We've heard a lot this morning about sustainability. We've skirted through the issues of climate change. We've talked about the urgency to meet temperature rise not above 1.5 degrees Celsius. However, we haven't really talked much about the other side of climate change, the flip coin, which is nature and biodiversity. Right? And in this session, I'm hoping that our panelists here can help clarify and elucidate a little bit why businesses should care for nature and biodiversity, notably SDG 14, life on land, and SDG 15, life underwater. Now, as a general public, as me, Natalie, why do we care about biodiversity? Well, first of all, we all know we belong in this planet composed of many ecosystems that are actually linked, inextricably linked through various small chains of living organisms, such as, for example, the bees that pollinate our flowers, the earth, the soil that grows our food, right? The trees that observe our carbon. We all know this. Now, what does it mean for businesses? So let me start with Kun Albert, alphabetical order. No prejudice here, just alphabetical order. Albert Ong, as our facilitator just said, has done so much in terms of business and the environment. And my question to you, Kun Albert, is why should businesses care about SDGs 14 and 15?
Thank you, Nat. I think we should go back to what life purpose in life is all about. For all mankind. So since all the living creatures in the world are interconnected, and depending on each other for living, so the objective behind all the things that we are doing, although we are now looking forward for economic development as well as our life, when we are still alive on earth, what are the purpose? Is it just to make money or just to earn a living, or you have a much higher purpose in life? So because all the problems that we are arising now in the world is actually is a byproduct of the economic development. So we need to restore that order. So in order to make it attractive and also appealing, we should come up with something with a new green mindset, a paradigm shift of what you would do. So we are talking about kind of a new business model, a business model where we have multiple objectives, earning happy money, but at the same time doing good to the environment, also helping people, the life at stake, the economy, which is also in problems. There's a lot of things that you can achieve. So I think with such a new mindset change, I think people can then understand why do we have to do so many things at the same time. Should it be the responsibility of a government or a person? But to me, and I believe for many of us, the globalization has given us a chance to know more about ourselves. So not only the rights that we are now receiving, but also you ought to have the responsibilities in response to it. So I think this is what we ought to see at this level.
Thank you for that. I love your analogy of happy money. I think it's a win-win for everyone. And your fact that responsibility is everyone's duty. So I'm going to turn my attention now to my other colleague here, Mr. Pirapong. Mr. Pirapong, as the Executive Vice President of Charoen Pokapan Foods, or CPF, it's one of the largest agro industries in Asia Pacific. What are your thoughts in terms of the business case for investing in nature? Maybe you might want to talk about it in response to Albert's linkage to the responsibilities, being the happy money, meaning it's a win-win for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. And good afternoon, everyone. As Albert mentioned, happy money. CPF, we want to generate happy money as well, so that we ensure our material coming into the production or into the process coming from the traceability source. And we commit not to receive any material coming from the deforestation or anything. So give you a big picture. We started a program in 2015 that on the material coming into the business. So talking about business of the CPF, we have a very long supply chain, all right? So we start from receiving the grains, and when we talk about grains, we talk about maize, we talk about soybean, we talk about palm oil, we talk about cassava, so that all this material coming in to the feed factory that we produce feed, then go to the animal, then go to the, raise the animal, then go to the slaughterhouse, and then come to our table. The whole chain take about 6 to 8 months from the very beginning until onto our customer table. The whole thing needs to be traceable until the source of the material that we receive. And we are pleased to announce that within 2021, 100% of our maize in Thailand, we are traceable back to the source of growing. All right. And CPF worldwide, CPF operate in 17 countries, and we serve 4 billion people across 5 continents. All right. And we are certain that in 2021, 25% of our raw material are traceable. And our objective is 2030, 100% of our raw material using in our process are traceable. Right now, if you want to be our supplier, you have to register. The farmer has to register, and also the trader have to register. Then the system developed so that we can track back to each individual farmer, the location of the farm, to the trader, the location of the trading, and also the location of the material they receive. And then the whole system will connect with blockchain to trace back to the material supply worldwide. The system will complete in this third quarter, and then we start implementing onward. The objective is by 2030, 100% of our raw material will be traceable, and there will be no deforestation or any environmental impact because of our operation at all. Thank you.
Well, that's a very significant commitment, and I think that underlines your responsibility to impart SDG 14, life on land. So thank you very much for that intervention. I saw Albert move. Maybe would you like to say anything in reaction to that?
Oh yes, I have always been very talkative. Want to say a lot of things, but anyway, there are a lot of things happening to the world because of the globalization. The new world order is actually it's not about political. It's about how you conduct your business. You know how you live in a meaningful way. But there's a change in the way how we look at things, sort of collectively, as what I said. The word green itself, according to is now redefined, not just environmental friendly. It is about doing goodness, kindness, or righteousness. You're doing things ethically. Okay, so with that notion, this is kind of a mindset change. That people, when they understand the reason why they are doing all the things that they want to do, no matter it's commercial, social, or politically, serving people is the ultimate goal. Okay, with that, then you will see how things go, because the most important thing for us now, for the government around the world or Asia Pacific countries, is to set up a new set of rule of the games for businessmen, for people, so that they know where they are up to, the new direction, which will be very clear. So that's why the UNSCAP has come up, and with something new, which for the Sustainable Business Network are pushing forward for this Asia Pacific Green Deal, and this is exactly what we are talking about. The kind of paradigm shift of the way how we are doing business and also our living. So there's a lot of things that we can really look forward, because now the world has come to a stage that we will have global standards, global measurements, certification. It's no longer like from other different countries or regions that they have their own kind of standards. So I think this is a change which everybody will embrace. Okay, so.
Thank you for that. Following from the trail of thought that you had left us with, Albert, I wanted to go back to the happy money, green and happy money, I guess, because businesses eventually do look at the profit line. And I wanted to direct this question to Kun Pirapong. What CPF is doing with addressing its deforestation through supply chains is remarkable. So could you explain a little bit in terms of your company, the balancing between profitability and sustainability? You could also talk about, the new technological innovations that your company has embraced in order to really take your company forward in your journey on net zero. Thank you.
All right, thank you. CPF as the leader in agro industry, which is one of the biggest in the world, we think it is our duty to lead the way so that the people will follow. All right, so that in 2021 we set up the sustainability strategy, so that we comprise of 3 pillars. One of this is food security. The second one is self-sufficient society. And the third one, we talk about the balance of nature. Key of this topic, this is about the balance of nature, so that we ensure we do our business without disturbing the environment as much as possible. All right. And then when we look at this, the thing that we try to create the impact to the world at this moment, for example, like CPF Thailand, we set 2022 as the coal-free. All right, so that by the end of this year, there will be no operation in Thailand using coal as a fuel anymore. And we are going further, trying to switch from liquid fuel like Bangladesh into LNG. Talking about that, then when we look at our own operation, and we try to improve in every segment of our operation, because if everyone know about the technical, you know that switching from liquid fuel like Bangladesh into the gas LNG is actually saving about 20% of the carbon emission. But we said that, hey, we're gonna do it. It's not about the price, because gas is quite expensive at this moment. We need to spend more money. But in order to take advantage of 20% of the carbon reduction within our process. And I just mentioned during the lunchtime that we are looking at a new technology. Assume that we can use hydrogen to our process, meaning like replace the LNG or replace the fuel within our process. You know, hydrogen convert back to water, meaning that the hydrogen will not make any impact, or in other words, there will be no carbon emission from our process at all. This is something that we are looking at this moment, trying to make the conversion of our process to make it more efficient, and at the same time to find the other material to replace our fuel that would be less impact to the environment in the future. One of the good examples that we set for the industry to follow is we set up the RE100, meaning like renewable energy 100% within our chicken farm. All right, we are running the experiment at this moment that we can isolate our chicken farm using the waste from the chicken to generate the biogas, and then use that biogas to generate power. And we actually short about 20-30% of the power usage within our farm. Then we use a solar cell, and we use the program called energy management system, that the whole farm will be rely on the energy consumption by itself and generate by itself, so that it's going to be complete RE100 coming next year. This is actually, we don't make any money out of this, but we want to make a showcase that to live in the world with less disturbing to the environment, we can make it. Thank you.
Thank you. I will turn now to Albert. Those are impressive things you're doing, by the way, Kun Pirapong. Albert, what, as first of all, as a regional leader, leading a task force here on green economy, what gives you optimism from a business sector perspective on how the world is moving on this global momentum on sustainability? What gives you optimism?
I mean, I've been in the green business for over 40 years. Actually, I've learned so much, mistakes as well. What I see now to the world is, especially after the pandemic, we need a complete reset of what we are doing now. So, but when we look around and see what are happening in different countries, or the many technologies or many business model that people are doing, actually, we are moving forward, to a stage that when we have the determination to do good, and when we do the application right, technology and solutions are always there. And frankly speaking, nowadays we are not lack of any solutions. It's only about the determination to apply how we want to achieve, for what purpose. So with that, actually, the UNSCAP and Sustainable Business Network, we are also hoping to come up with more programs training program, especially on the leadership intelligence, LI, which we would like to focus on, is to train leaders to know about the new paradigm shift. What does it look like? Even when we're talking about the kind of a metaverse that we are now currently talking about, and we have to be updated ourselves with the many solutions that we are embracing. So I'm very optimistic because a lot of things are now moving forward very fastly. So all our audience should be well prepared, for such changes. Embrace all the problem you have. Don't look at it as always as a challenge or a negative thing. Embrace it and find out, the most important things that I really hope to share with our audience. Like the worst thing that can happen to you is if you don't know what the problems are. Once you know the problem, at least you know how the direction to move around. And this is the kind of green positive thoughts that we are now pushing forward through the UN SCAP. And then I think this is what we want to do.
Speaking with true words of wisdom there, Albert. I would like to ask the same question to you as well, Kun Pirapong. What, as an industry leader, leading also the sustainability vision for CPF, what makes you optimistic about this sustainability movement this time?
If you ask me this question last year, and at the end of last year, there was a science-based target set up at 42% by 2030 and going to zero by 2050. I was talking to the team. There's no way we can make it. All right. But once we commit to deliver this, there'll be some certain technology. Right now, I can tell you that every week I'm going to meet with some of the startup SME to talk about the new technology, about something that we can apply into our business so that we can reduce the carbon emission, so that we can improve our efficiency. What coming into my mind is like, you know what, as you said, if we have the clear direction, solution will come. Solution will come. Then the technology is there already. It's just a matter that we will bring this in or we bring that in. At the end of this, by 2030, we achieve the result that we set. All right. I agree with you that the answer is there. And talking about the target of science-based target, and I believe that everyone here understands about the concept of this. And it was the first time that we really set up this target, that's something that, everyone need to deliver in order to make sure the world is not getting worse, right? During the lunch, we talk about the temperature in India that reached 51 degrees C. People in Thailand, we know it, right? Even just 40 degrees C, we hardly living in this environment, all right? Then this is the climate change. It become very obvious. So that if the leading company like CPF wouldn't do anything, that would be the other to follow. Then we have to lead the way so that the other will follow. And we always share our learning, our best practice to the other so that the technology and its improvement is helping the world. And this is our world. This is not the world that we can move away or, leave it in the near future. We have to be with it so that we have to make sure that everything that we do right now is actually helping the world to make it better. In our talking with the team, we say 2030 is today. This is today. It's not, another 8 years. No, 2030 is today. What can we do today to deliver the commitment of what we have? And that would make the world better.
Thank you. Yes, Albert, I see you might want to say something, your hand gesture.
Okay. In response to your comment just now, actually there is one campaign that we are putting up by the UN SCAP is introducing the Asia Pacific Green Deal. And with that, we will come up with a number of projects and programs, one of which we hope to formulate is the Green Economic Zone. But again, in response to what you said, echo of what you said, there are rule of the games. There are best manufacturing practice, best business practices. Now it's becoming a world standard. So nobody can hide away from it. And this is a transparent world too. And the technologies are there. So in the past, when we thought like when we using the old mindset, we thought like, oh, if we want to resolve an environment issue, it would take 5 years or 10 years. Now, actually, it doesn't. It only take a year or two. And even the generation that we are talking about is like, hey, in the past, we're talking maybe 3 to 5 years would be one generation, but it's not now. It's 2 years or 1.5, 2 years is one next generation. So we have to be prepared and also look into that. And the solutions are there. So just go because of the internet. There's lots of information that we can look into.
I hear from both of you a true sense of optimism because there are solutions, because there is a recognition of urgency of action, because we all know 2030 is not in the future, but it is today, as Kun Pirapong had mentioned. We don't have much time left, so maybe this will probably, unfortunately, be our last question, but I'd like to pose it to both of our panelists. In your mind, as we think about the future on this sustainability path, what is your vision that you would like to share and inspire to the younger generation or to other companies who are going to embark on this journey, mindful of the biodiversity and the nature targets that we were talking about?
Be an optimistic person with truly positive thinking. This is very important for all youngsters because it's not only you think whether you can make it or not, but you should have the confidence because as what we shared earlier, there are so many solutions in the world now. Most important thing is to ask for ask for it and also to learn from it. And I will recommend one very simple thing, but this is what I would talk to all the young people is to learn the history. Learn what had happened in the past, because then you would learn. You would know what you can do for the future. Don't make the same mistake or making a better mistake. This is the worst thing that would happen to you. Ask many wise people surrounding you. They will give you a lot of solution, positive too. So be a positive person. No matter whether you are confident or not, you ought to be confident. You ought to be happy because you have to enjoy your life so that you can do a lot of things together. It's a teamwork era, so you are not alone. So if you can find more people together to work with you for the same purpose, you will gain the power. Okay, this is the power that you need. Thank you.
I think echo from what you said. My dream is like, actually right now, I don't think that I'm Thai anymore. I am the people of the world. All right. So that you go to Europe, you go to US, guys, stop thinking that you are the US citizen, you are UK citizen. You are the people of the world. And we live in only this world. All right. So that personally, we have to think global, that whatever we act today is actually for our next generation. All right. This is a way how to look at this, because if I just think that I'm Thai, all right, hey, I don't need to care about what happened in China, what happened in India. No, 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 no. Right now, the world is just so small. 20 years ago, we talk about the world is just very big. Today, we talk about the world is too small. What happened here, what we're doing here, is actually the consequence might happen in India or in other countries, because we live in the same world. All right, that's what for the personal thinking, so that people need to change their mind about the way we live, that we are the people of Thailand. No, no, no. We are the world people. We are the people of the world. Then go to the company level. CPF always thinking that, hey, we are not living alone in this planet. So we want to join hands with small companies, not only to be in the same food sector, but also in every segment, in every kind of business, to join hands and develop the roadmap of success on the sustainability and the future of living people. So by doing this, what I'm talking is not about to have the big conglomerate setting up the sustainability target and try to deliver in 2030 and 2050. But I'm convincing to all people in our company, no matter what you small or big or medium, but you need to have your mind set for the future of the world, for the future of the global. Then what is the roadmap of the sustainability that we can go together because we live in the same world.
Thank you. And my speakers have been so good with time. I think I just have enough time to summarize and conclude what the panelists have said. So I think the key messages is that the momentum has already gained traction. Sustainability is here to stay, and it's going to become the way business operates. That's what I heard. I also heard that now is the pivotal time to act. We have to act now because 2030 is today. I also heard and felt with the panelists the optimism because there are solutions, there are directions, and there are standards that will guide the business sector in delivering the SDGs, especially 14 and 15. I also heard that, which is very inspirational, doing good is what all citizens should do, and all citizens is not citizen tied to nations, but we are all global citizens, interconnected, each one of us forming an inextricable link, like all the species on this planet. And on this, I'd love to conclude this session. I really want to thank my two distinguished panelists for their wisdom today. Thank you very much, Ka.
Thank you very much.
And a big round of applause to everyone on stage, and please remain on your seat. And now I have changed my mind. I'm not Thai anymore. I am the people of the world, citizen of the world, and you are too. So thank you very much to our panelists and also our moderators, Kun Pirapong, Kun Albert, and also Kun Natalie. And now, could you please stand up for a group photo on stage? And once again, a round of applause for everyone on stage. Thank you very much for such a great session. To the people of the world. And after that, please take a group photo in front of the conference room. Once again, later on, thank you very much. For an interesting session, we still have a lot more coming up. And the next series is on the topic of social sustainability, gender equality, labor's right, human right, and healthcare, and so many other interesting social issues that the private sector is investing and committing more to social sustainability issues like never before, I can tell. And in the next Fireside Chat series, we will explore how the private sector is fulfilling its social contract. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce you the panelists of our next session. We have the President Director of PT Astindo Nusantara Jaya, TBK, Mr. Lucas Kurniawan. Welcome, Mr. Lucas, on stage. And we have the country head of TCS Malaysia, Mr. Jiban Raju. And next, we have the President Director of PT Transcon Jaya, TBK, Mr. Lexi Roland Rompas. Welcome, Mr. Lexi. And now I would like to hand it over to the moderator of this chat series, the Executive Director of Global Compact Network Indonesia, Miss Josephine Sarayono. Welcome, Miss Josephine.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. MC, for the introduction, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. I know it's difficult time, especially after the lunch, right? So please stay awake. Yeah. Okay. Again, good afternoon, all ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second Fireside series this afternoon. It's titled Social Sustainability. And my name is Josephine Sationo. I'm the Executive Director of the Indonesia Global Compact Network as a moderator for this session. We have, of course, our respectable panelists, speakers. Two are joining us here on site this afternoon. Mr. Jivan Raju, Country Head Tata Consultancy Services Malaysia, and Mr. Lexi Roland Rompas, President Director PT Transcon Jaya Tbk Indonesia, having their headquarters in East Kalimantan. And of course, Mr. Lucas Kurniawan, President Director PT Ostindo Jaya, Nusantara Jaya, Ostindo Nusantara Jaya Tbk, Indonesia, who are joining us virtually. So, ladies and gentlemen, like mentioned before, from gender equality in boardrooms to equal pay to women to paying living wages and providing healthcare facilities to workers, the private sector is stepping up its investment and commitment to social sustainability like never before in this post-COVID-19, giving the human face to the global market like that the UN Secretary General Kofi Annan dreamed about while founding the UN Global Compact in year 2000. Yeah, private sector needs to fulfill its social contract, moving beyond philanthropy and charity, and in fact, investing in social sustainability to create thriving communities and ecosystem. We have here our respectable panel. I would like to ask, the same questions to all of you. We would like to inspire our audience on why actually the need to implement social sustainability in business. So let's get started. My first question, and this will be the same to all of you. What has your company done? What has been implemented in terms of social sustainability practice within your business? And why is it important for the company? I will start with Jivan from your business perspective.
Thank you, Josephine.
Yes,
Really
thank you.
appreciate the question. Sawadee Krap to respective friends here, people online, as well as gentlemen down here. I think firstly, let's talk about the elephant in the room. I think for us, from Tata Group perspective, the elephant in the room is about sustainability and social justice. And it's about something that it's not only the call of the government to address that. It is every enterprise duty to do around the world, whether you are a large company or a small company. In Tata Group, we believe we only exist because of the community. And that has been ingrained in everything that we do. We work for society, we make money from society, and we give it back to society. And that is the ethos of the Tata Group, which made us exist for the last 150 years. And I hope many other companies embarking into similar sort of journey will be around for 150 years. So, firstly, it's not social justice is not a problem for the government. It's our duty as enterprise. And in Tata Group and TCS, where I belong, we've done phenomenal amount of work about not only creating shareholder value, but also addressing stakeholders. And every country that we work, every country we have an office, it's our own country. We truly believe that every country that we serve, every citizen in the world that we serve, is our own citizens. So there's no dichotomy about saying that it is a problem in China and not a problem here or a problem some other way. We truly believe that everything that we do and every ethos and culture that we have within the Tata Group as well as TCS, it's all about serving the community, providing shareholder value, and make sure that the stakeholders are well taken care.
Well, and that has proven for 150 years being the sustainability, being the sustainable business,
Exactly.
contributing to the society. Thank you so much. Now, let's hear from the perspective of PT Transcon Jaya. Lexi.
Thank you. Before I coming to your answer from your question, I would like to introduce a little bit of our company so you know and have the background of what we are doing in Indonesia, especially in East Kalimantan. Our company is, our core business is to rent vehicles. Right? We are a public company based in Balikpapan, East Kalimantan, and maybe you all aware that East Kalimantan already assigned by our president to become the next capital city of Indonesia to replace Jakarta. Our core of business, just like I said, is rental vehicles to industries like mining industries, like oil and gas industries, construction industries, and many others. To support our business, we have two very important assets that we have. First is our rental units, our fleet, and the second is what I think is the most important asset that we have is our employees. They are the reason why we survive for 20 years now, not to compare with Tata Group. The reason why I said that because these people is make these two assets that makes our company can achieve our statement, our mission statement, and our goals that already set up by the company. So, in order to do so, there are several programs in our company that I can proudly share with you all today. The first program is we have this career development program for every employees in our company by providing them with extensive trainings and full scholarship if they wish to extend their knowledge. Also, we provide each of every employees and their families members with secondary insurance coverage aside from the what they entitled to that already coverage by the government. Yeah, so by these two programs that we have, apart from the other programs, we can still see our first employees that already work for us from 20 years ago from we started the business. Furthermore, since last year, our company, with the support of our stakeholders, has implemented the fifth goal of the SDGs, which is the gender equality. So now, even though our core of business is rental vehicle, which is mainly industry, we already have more and more female mechanics, female welders in our floor. Thank you.
Wow. So from 150 companies to new companies, now having 20 years more, and we do hope that it will be more and more, right?
Thank you, Bu.
And then from what you say is, this is a male-dominated industry,
Exactly.
but you are also promoting gender equality
Yes, Bu.
to be like truck drivers, the transportation drivers. How do you find it? I mean, so far, what are the challenges that you're facing in terms of promoting or recruitments of women or female workers to be, truck drivers, for instance, or mechanic?
Thank you. So we have our own training center in the company, and to fill that seats that available in the training center, we goes to schools in surrounding area in Balikpapan. We promote this program, and we said that we have programs for students, for employees, if you wish to join to the company. And so far we have we have exactly 5 agreements that already running with high schools, and 2 with colleges, another 2 with universities.
That's
And
great.
we help them. We help these institutions to develop their curriculums. We also sending our main employees to as teachers in several subjects in their schools, in their institution. And we also provide the students to come to our company for a duration of time of maximum 3 months, so they can work and have their experience before they come out to the public, to industrial.
Wow. Really amazing. So what I'm hearing from you is you're putting in extra effort, not doing business as usual,
Exactly.
right? Which is I think this is excellent. Thank you so much for sharing
Thank you, Bu.
sharing that with us. Then let's hear from Pak Lucas. Pak Lucas? Yep.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Ibu Josephine, and good afternoon to all respected audience. I also would like to start from regarding the background of our company. ANJ Austindo Nusantara Jaya, we are an agriculture-based food company, and our operations span across Indonesia archipelago. So literally, our operation is from Sumatra and Kalimantan and up to West Papua. And our primary revenue stream is from the palm oil business unit. Oil palm plantation is a long-term investment, and therefore, wherever we operate, we must coexist and grow together with the communities surrounding our operation. With respect to our ESG ambition in terms of the social sustainability practices, our focus includes several key targets, namely inclusive growth, meaning that our presence generates positive outcome, opportunities, and shared prosperity for our local communities. And this is important because we operate mostly in a remote area, which with a very limited economic opportunities, limited public services, and limited infrastructure. Regarding this ambition, we involve our local farmers and local businesses in our supply chains. More than 5,800 farmers and agents are involved in our supply chains as the supplier of the oil palm fruit, or we normally call it fresh fruit bunches. We also empower smallholders to apply best practices in agronomy, principle of sustainable agriculture. And as of the end of last year, approximately 62% of our plasma and partnership suppliers have received sustainable certification from RSPO. And our ambition with respect to the smallholders is that by 2025, 100% of our plasma and partnership suppliers will have received the sustainable certification from RSPO. And the next key target is the empowering the local communities. And for this, I am proudly uh, would like also to share one of our successful initiatives relating to the Women Empowerment Program in our West Papua operation, which we call Warung Mama, literally in English meaning Mama's Food Stall. This initiative has empowered local women by providing them with the means to generate their own income and promote the sale of local food products. The mamas who are from the surrounding villages, and most of them do not have formal higher education, are provided with practical and business skills to allow them to develop their interest. Also, our investment in infrastructure and services such as roads, bridges, ports, clinics, telecommunication facilities, and also, lastly, but also very important, early education for the children. Provide accessible facilities in remote areas for the local communities and thus improving their livelihood. Uh, Also, the next key targets, which are equally important, working condition and preventing forced labor. Uh, with respect to the forced labor, we recognize that this industry, there are potential risks of forced labor and child labor in our operation and our suppliers' operation. ANJ has a very clear and enforced policy to abolish child labor and protect workers from abuse and exploitation. And also, this policy must also be adhered by our suppliers and contractors. Particularly for the child labor, we believe that one of the root causes is the lack or even the absence of access to education for the children. Therefore, to address this, we establish schools in our location, working together with the government to improve the access to education in the surrounding area of our operations, and also working together with some NGO to improve the education quality.
Yeah, very good. So, based on the sharing, I see that different industry will respond differently, but
Absolutely.
will fit it into their requirements, business needs, and fitting also into the environment. I hear you, Pa Lucas, about it is very vulnerable aspect in terms of agriculture practices, and especially in the palm oil of the issue about child labor. So I believe what your practices shows us that actually putting in an emphasis to putting children to keep children in schools will benefit the company, but also benefit the society, because by not being in school, they might interfere with their fathers or mothers' work within the farm, within the palm oil farming, right? So I think we learn a lot from these, and thank you so much. It's very inspiring. But let's move. I have more questions for all of
Sure.
you. Um, tell us more about the lesson learned. Okay, the benefits and lesson learned that your company gain or learn from the practices, the social sustainability practices that you're doing within your business. Jivan.
Sure. I think one thing is in the Tata Group and TCS, the fact that we put a lot of emphasis on employees, whether it's male or female, we put a lot of emphasis on them. We put a lot of emphasis about creating jobs for youngsters around the world. And during the pandemic, I think it became very loud to many of us the TCS were out there trying to create more jobs, especially when companies were laying off. And one thing that we did in Malaysia is we realized that if we pick up the youngsters who are fresh graduate guys and train them out and provide programs for them, they can naturally be superstars. So we came up with a program called Seed Lab, which is actually an incubator program with one of our partners in Malaysia to address youth unemployment. And all this incubator does is create social enterprise startups filled with youngsters, and they go out and we incubate them over a period of 12 months. They go out, they create much more employment for fellow youngsters in the gig economy, and that has a economic impact on the downturn. So that program was a very successful program for us, where we wanted to address youth unemployment in Malaysia. We created the Seed Lab program. Today we have 3 startups, another 7 or rather 8 being incubated, so that they go out, they address a particular social problem, be it accompanying elderly people, be it creating jobs for youngsters wanting to move into the F&B business, and also youngsters who just don't want a job. I just want to be a freelancer, but can I earn enough money as a freelancer to provide food onto a table? So those are the such social problems that we had, and we addressed it by this whole Seed Lab program by TCS Malaysia, and that has really it's never done before in any part of the world. So we're first in Malaysia to try it out. We saw results. Our partner was very excited about it. And I think we want to expand that across the world, whereby it becomes a platform for youngsters who are passionate for social needs, who can create beautiful ideas or startup ideas, can come incubate the ideas and shoot off. And that is something that we did over the pandemic. And it's very important for all enterprises around the world to think about some cause which is close to your heart and go for it.
It's really amazing. So other than you're creating jobs within your companies, you're providing environment, opportunities for the youth out there to also create jobs.
Absolutely.
Become providers themselves. Instead of they come and work for companies.
Absolutely.
They own their business and they create jobs. Really, really fantastic. Let's hear from Palexi. 2 minutes, Palexi.
Okay.
We're running out of time.
We have already agreed before that our industry, rental business, is a manly work.
Men, yes.
So we learned this before, and that's why we applied these 5 goals of SDGs.
SDGs 5,
in our company, because it is common for a company, for this kind of business, to hire male and experienced laborers only. So we switched that. We changed that in our company. We hire new graduates. We hire both male and female. We train them. We give them the same opportunity. And that's what we learned so far. And we want to expand that in our company.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. Fantastic. Pak Lucas, tell us more. Pak Lucas.
Right. So we discussed earlier regarding the nature of our operation, which the location are mostly in remote areas. Therefore, in ING, we believe that ESG strategy and related implementation, including the social sustainability, must be integrated with the business strategy. And it should be seen and evaluated as our integrated investment, where the outcomes can be measured, monitored, and improved. For the benefit, we've seen the benefit from this approach, including positive engagement with our stakeholders, notably the surrounding community. This has resulted in much lesser operation disruptions, which we frequently experienced at the start of a new project or a new development due to the mutual trust had not been built. We have also seen this providing a benefit for the risk mitigation, because with the positive engagement, the result is that with the mutual trust and positive engagement, we can work together with the community in the environment protection program, such as forest fire prevention, because we can empower the local community in the forest fire prevention and protection. And the other benefit is a much better access to the local talent pool of skilled workers, because as a result of our investment in the education program for the surrounding community, this in turn can help us to be able to access the local talent pool of the skilled workers. And for the commercial benefit, this can also improve our operating cost because of the lower logistic cost to bring workers from the outside from our operation area. The local talent can also help us to improve our understanding on the local wisdom in addressing certain operational challenges. And then also from the internal perspective, this also improve employee engagement and also positive working environment, because as a result of our real action, clear communication on our commitment and ambition relating to working condition, workers protection, and more importantly, relating to the gender equality and women empowerment, the employee will feel certain about clarity regarding our direction. And the latter regarding the gender equality and women empowerment is also very crucial in an industry such as oil palm, where majority of the workers are male. And as such, we continuously improve and strengthen our gender committee in all locations. And lastly, the benefit that we have seen is the recognition and good reputation, which in turn this further strengthen the trust from our buyers, customers, shareholders, and also other stakeholders. And Josephine, you asked also about the lesson learned. I think the lesson learned that we have taken so far is that understanding the local culture in its location is important, because each place has unique, and there is no one size fits all of the methodology of the implementing the social sustainability program. And also very important to establish various means of communication channels to establish the trust with the community, and this includes the grievance mechanism. And lastly, I think it's about journey. Sustainability practice is about a journey. Therefore, patience, persistence, and perseverance are very important.
Thank you, Pak Lucas. Thank you so much. Very inspiring, and we can hear a lot and a lot more. However, we're very limited time. Just one last question to each one of you. Can you share us what is it? What have you taken up by being a member of the UN Global Compact? This could be an easy answer, could be a difficult answer from you. Let's just share. Maybe from Jivan.
Sure. I think UN Compact Global has been a phenomenal partner for us in Malaysia. Together with them, we've come up with many initiatives. One of it is on climate change. One of it's on zero C carbon capture. And that partnership has resulted in a lot of awareness for a lot of enterprises in Malaysia. So I think this partnership has enriched TCS Malaysia, has enriched them as having TCS also with them. And I think together we are only striving to do more for the country and for the citizens of the world.
Thank you.
Alexi? Since joining the UNGC, we received many provisions, many guidelines how we can do these programs in our company. So we are looking forward. From our last discussion, Ibu Josie already mentioned to us, and we already put that in mind, and we hope that we can participate even more.
That's great. Thank you so much. How about Pak Lucas? Can you share it within 30 seconds?
Yeah, we have 6 ESG ambition and targets that we set last year. All of these ambition and targets are aligned with the SDG. And UNGC has provided resources and knowledge sharing forum to assist us to achieve these ambitions. keep us up to date with the dynamics in this space, and more importantly, to assess where we are as compared to the others. So this is the benefits or the opportunity that we have, INJ has captured as UNGC participant.
So nice to hear that. We are Global Compact present in almost 70 countries around the world, and every single local networks are providing, providing support to our participants to be in the forefront of the sustainability practices, to be more sustainable in their business. We are coming to an end. I just want to share the takeaway. Why all companies should implement the social sustainability practice is because it is every enterprise duty around the world, regardless of company size. It is all about serving the community and providing shared values. We should not only do the business as usual, but we must take extra effort, setting ambitious goals and targets. And of course, different industries will respond differently, fitting to the environment. Learning from our speakers today, putting children's education as a priority around the company will not only benefit the company, but also benefit the human resources as well. Sustainability is about journey, persistence, and perseverance is very important. Thank you so much, Bapak Ibu, all gentlemen. Today we have such interesting panels today, right? We see all female panels and all male panels, but today it's a combination.
Absolutely.
I mean, right now it's a combination. Again, thank you so much for sharing. It's so inspiring. And I'm logging off. We are logging off. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, Josephine. Really appreciate it.
And a big round of applause for stimulating discussions. What a meaningful and thought-provoking discussion.
The partnership has been expanded to include Thailand's financial sector to scale up commitments to the principles of responsible investing and principles of responsible banking, with 23 asset managers and investors and 13 banks, respectively, as prospective signatories. In Malaysia, coordination with the UN has been formalized in the Malaysia SDG Fund, which we are looking to replicate through a national pool funding mechanism for SDGs in Thailand, capitalized by the government and private sector. As discussed during this forum, we need to continue to focus on SMEs and sustainability across the supply chain, including comprehensive research on SME terrain, the winners and losers in this transformation for sustainability, and the structural support that will be most effective. This extends across the private sector, as large corporates can't do business without SMEs, and these upward and downward linkages have to be built into sustainability strategies. In the Philippines, the local network has worked closely with the UN, improving safety and health through supply chains, recognizing the important role that business can play. I'm glad to see the UN Global Compact launch its SME toolkit to mainstream sustainability, and I'm confident that local networks in ASEAN will make very good use of it. We also need further progress on social sustainability and gender equity in the private sector. Thailand leads with 24% of CEOs and 43% of CFOs being women, but our partners tell us that systemic biases remain, such as access to financing. In Indonesia, the private sector has been championing women's leadership through Ring the Bell for Gender Equality collaboration between the UN and the Indonesian Business Coalition for Women's Empowerment and the Stock Exchange to set ambitious targets for women representation and leadership. And lastly, with global momentum on the Convention on Biological Diversity, the private sector in ASEAN needs to step forward as UN champions of biodiversity to lead protecting species and habitats while leveraging technology and innovation. At the regional level, we also need to get better at addressing air and plastic pollution by bringing to bear science-based technical assistance, such as ESCAP's use of satellite technology for chemical fingerprinting of smoke to pinpoint pollution sources and provide granular evidence for data-based policy. This kind of science-based partnership with government and private sector, leveraging our respective expertise, will be key to addressing our interconnected challenges. Thank you again to the organizers for bringing together the key stakeholders, including the ESCAP Sustainable Business Network and Global Compact. I look forward to building on these discussions. Thank you very much.
Ms. Gita Sapava, thank you very much for a powerful message and the call to action. And next, last but not least, saving the best for last. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the great pleasure to present to you the Executive Director of Global Compact Network Thailand and the host network for this event. May I present to you Miss ธัญพร กฤติทายาวุฒิขอเสียงปรบมือต้อนรับคุณธัญพรครับ
Excellencies, respect participants, UN Global Compact members, and our most valued invited business leaders here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my privilege to have been asked for propose the word of thanks for this event. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the co-partners, UN ESCAP. And we also have a lot of good work together with the ESCAP team for excellence of the executive work, professional work together. And we also thank you to support this event again with the UN country team, the RCO team, Kun Gita Saprawal and her team, including the RCO and also the RCO in ASEAN country, in being champion of the UN Global Compact. I, on behalf of the Global Compact Local Network Thailand, together from our network, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia and Brunei, and the Philippines here together, we extend our hearty vote of thanks to all speakers for your gracing of your important works, including your sharing with us about the finding of good new opportunities and also the opinion today. This session is convened a lot of key stakeholders together about measuring the progress of the SDGs in Southeast Asia. To address the gap, as we must know, is a lot of gaps to do so, but we have shared a lot of good knowledge as well as a resource on funding to identify the opportunity for the meaningful partnerships. And this building up on together the global network of the leaders that's so committed to driving the ambition of the action on the SDGs. And finally, I wish to comment on business leaders that all of you have a passion and putting together this event. I wish all participants and you all the very best for building back a good business together. And we building back good business through the accountable company and ecosystem. We can enable the change together. Thank you of being a key part of our Leader Summit today. Thank you.
And a big round of applause to คุณ ธัญพร กฤติทายาวุฒินะครับ Thank you very much for such a wonderful message to bring this event to a close. And it's now time to conclude our Uniting Business Sustainability in ASEAN event. Ladies and gentlemen, time flies when you're having a good time. But time also flies when there is an urgent need to take action. So step up your ambition and foster meaningful collaborations. We must act while there is still time, and I believe that many of you will walk away from the event today with a mission and a vision and also a pledge to uniting business for a better world. Thank you very much once again, and it has been an honor to be your host. And don't forget to join us online for the rest of the Leader Summit. I'm so sure that our colleagues around the world is working so hard for this. The buzz on the chat, the lively discussion online, and for those of you who are joining us virtually, thank you very much for your engagement. And for our audience, and also our virtual audience, next we will have an insight from the virtual Europe session. And now, I believe that my work is all done. I'm going to hand the floor back to Nayeli in New York. Thank you very much once again.